So if you can't play the game, say it with me. CG. Fiction! Yeah! Did I scare you, foolish mortals? Well, if not, you should be scared. For I am a Datacron, and I want to suck your crystals. People, you know it's not sucking this season. Although it sucks to get these Datacrons, the power within them does not suck. Today, we're going to show a variety of gameplay. We have a new Datacron set in here. I know, scary, 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 the D word out there. But anyways, even if you're not farming them, there are a few of them that I think you should consider, even at lower levels, to try to get, because they have some crazy top tier power. We'll show some gameplay, and I'll give my recommendations on which ones you should be focusing on. Get it? Because they're focused Datacrons. Listen, I laugh at my own jokes, so you don't have to. People, I know that Datacrons aren't always the most exciting conversation, but it's a core thing of Galaxiers, especially if you want to be super duper competitive. And it's nice to know in case you come across them yourself. And this season seems to be a lot more interesting than the last season of Focused Datacrons. And I upgraded all of them, but man, it takes a lot out of building the rest of my Datacrons. And here's the issue. Do you want to build all in on one focused Datacron, which is basically like 3 or 4 normal Datacrons put together? That's basically 3 or 4 teams right there for if you had 3 or 4 more Datacrons, or you go all in on one. Well, it depends on how good the focused Datacron is, and that's what we're going to talk about today. TLDW, I don't want to listen to you, Arnold. If you're going into the focused Datacrons, Dark Side Vision Ray seems to be the clear winner if you have her for Supreme or Karen. Oh my goodness. Hermit Yoda, I would recommend as the second one. Again, we'll go over some more details as we roll some gameplay for all this. Hermit Yoda be second, especially if you have the Jedi Knight Luke, Jedi Master Luke. And then I would recommend Director Krennic, even if you don't have Krennic himself, just simply getting the level 12 for the support Datacron, which we had many moons ago, which is bananas and pajamas. That's the big thing right there that I would recommend, even if you don't care about Krennic or you don't even have it. And then the Chief Nebbit one, I don't really know if this is gonna be all that special, but it looks like it could be funny. Anyways, let's get down to business. And in case you're asking, why do we have 2 Jedi Temple Guard Datacrons? I'll give you one guess. Time's up! Yeah, the game was broken. What else is new? Can this game just stop being broken for 2 seconds? And then they had to issue out another one because the one they gave out during the Jedi Temple Guard unlock, well, it wasn't upgraded all the way. Oh, by the way, speaking of bugs, apparently when I made that video the other day, the fix worked for me. I updated my Google Play services thing. There's a video card somewhere up here to go check it out. It worked for a lot of people, but it still didn't work for everyone. So if you can't play the game, say it with me. CG. Fiction! Yeah! Don't worry, guys. I know you guys have missed Territory Wars, lots of crystals, Grand Arenas. We are going to get 4 Clone Wars Chewie shards. I made sure of it. Anyways, oh gosh, I hope they get it fixed. That fix isn't the best fix because the problem with the fix that I did, it requires people to know what to look for and they have to go out of the way and do it. Hopefully CG comes up with a fix that just fixes itself and they can push it to the clients, and that way people don't have to go out of the way and figure out how do I update a Google Play services. Anyways, let's talk about Datacrons here. Can we roll some gameplay? Actually, before we roll some gameplay, let me first give a special shout. A lot of this gameplay today is going to be coming from the beautiful one and only Mad Hatter. These are the best videos to find in general. When you're on YouTube and you have no commentary, it's just a random video, SLKR versus Glat Ezra, you're in for a good video because you don't have to listen to those loud YouTubers talking and talking and talking. Gosh, I'm not even kidding, my friends. Anyways, pretty much all this gameplay that I'm going to show today is from that, and as well as some data mine gameplay from Barbarossa over on the Discord server for SWGoH events. So want to make sure you give a shout out. I'll leave a link down below. Maybe there'll be some more Datacron gameplay if you're curious to see how none of these things are. Yours truly, though, I don't have the crystal inventory or I could have the crystal inventory. I don't have the desire to be spending a lot of crystals on these Datacrons right now. Yeah, you know me. I don't want to spend tens of thousands and trillions just to have them for a couple months. I'll get them eventually, the old-fashioned way. Anyways, I digress. Let's go roll some gameplay here. So I first want to talk about the Hermit Yoda Datacron. A lot of people are coining it as the Jedi Master Luke Datacron, and as you're going to see, I didn't even need to speed up the gameplay today. Normally, I hate to speed up gameplay because, it takes 3, 4, 5 minutes. So no speeding up here. Look at this. Mad Hatter just throwing it on auto. Focus Fire, the Leia, and, well, guess what? She is getting a Salean. Well, why is that the case? Well, a few things here. First and foremost, Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker on that level 9. Again, you don't have to go all the way. And also, in case you guys don't remember, Focus Datacrons, you don't need high relics to use them. So if you're at lower gear, this can be used. That is one of the upside of Focus Datacrons, minus the cost of picking them through the episode currency, which is annoying. Wish they would use. They're easier to get, so you don't have to sacrifice Kyrotech or Omicrons. Whole different thing. And then they're expensive to upgrade, 3 or 4 Datacrons worth of stuff. But anyways, even if you don't want to go all the way to the level 15 for them, you can stop at level 9, get the bonus turn, and it really feels like Jedi Knight Luke is like full on stunning the whole entire match. But also, you have 100% offense when they have 100% health. So you're going to be doing some serious damage with this team. And furthermore, the Hermit Yoda, if you go all the way to the top, baby, anytime he does the basic ability, he's reducing his cooldowns by 1. So you're going to be able to spam your Foresight a ton, be able to do Master's Training a ton, and he's also going to be stacking up his max health. Cool. And then anytime Hermit Yoda gains a stack of Jedi Lessons, all the Jedi gain a stack of Jedi Lessons. So if you keep targeting him, you're going to be moving fast. So yeah, this seems to be a very solid Datacron for those that have Jedi Master Luke, duh. But even if you don't have Jedi Master Luke, this is probably gonna be a solid option for Jedi Knight Luke teams, Jedi Knight Revan teams as well. So again, these Datacrons give you a little bit of an interesting situation where not all of them need to be maxed out. There might be just like a sweet spot that you're gonna wanna hit. That's gonna be looking pretty darn good. Have one more battle up against the Lord Vader Dark Side clones. A little bit more challenging, but nonetheless seems to be a nice way if you're gonna be seeing a lot of Lord Vader Dark Side clone shenanigans with the Apocron. This might be a nice way of taking care of the situation. Master Luke is already kind of able to sort of keep up with Lord Vader and Dark Side clones, but this is going to make it a lot easier, especially if you're going to keep them under stun pretty much all the time. Easy money, honey. So this is probably the second one that I would recommend if you don't have the next one that we're going to discuss. But I'm just making the exception. I'm showing this one first. I'm assuming not everyone has Dark Side Vision Rey, but maybe a lot of you guys have Jedi Knight Luke, Jedi Master Luke, and those level 9s, the level 15. If you only want one good Datacron for the season, that's all you can really afford. When you're playing Conquest, you're not doing a ton of crystals, this might be the one for you. So anyways, let's lock in that Lord Vader win, and then we're going to talk about the next one, which is probably going to be the most bonker one, and that's going to be Dark Side Vision Rey. This is almost the equivalent of Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum, where she would always be taking bonus turns, bonus turns, bonus turns. Well, now it's for Dark Side Vision Rey, and let's just say Dark Side Vision Rey is a little bit scarier of a character. So again, Mad Hatter with his gameplay, hitting it on full auto, and just rolling with it. Another thing to note, this Datacron has a ton of crit damage on it as well. So one thing also to keep in mind with these Datacrons, I guess since we're on that topic of stats, even if you don't have any of the abilities, any of the characters, sometimes the stats alone are huge. For example, Hera's Datacron has been all right. Cool, I've done some cool stuff with it. Zalbar Datacron's okay. But more people are using those Datacrons purely for the massive stat gains, like 80% health, 60% health, whatever it is. So something to keep in mind if you're someone that has the luxury of picking up Datacrons just for stat boost. Some of these Datacrons, even if you might not have the characters, the teams that use them, the stats alone are worth it. But anyways, the crown jewel to all this, anytime an enemy takes a turn, Rey Dark Side Vision takes a bonus turn. And during this bonus turn, Rey Dark Side Vision deals 100% bonus damage. Dude, this girl is already hitting darn hard. Does she need to hit harder? Does she need to hit harder? CG's like looking at the Dark Side Vision Raycron. Please hit me harder, Rey. Hit me harder one more time.
Noah! Larry, you can't just... Oh.
Anyways, this is going to make SLKR, I mean, he was already pretty darn nutty, even nuttier. Yes, he's going to do cool things in offense. However, I suspect, because he was already beating pretty much everything of Dark Side Vision Rey in offense. The thing is, how do you beat this on defense is going to be the real challenge. I mean, look at this. What if you're bringing in Leia and she's gone? What was that? In like 13 seconds? Oh my gosh. That's how long it basically would take CG to figure out what's wrong with their game, but they can't figure it out. Anyways, no, okay, jokes aside. All right, just give me an air horn. All right, give me an air horn for that one. Yeah, my biggest concern is what do you use to take this down? All those bonus turns from Dark Side Vision Rey are going to be a massive, massive problem. But we have one more Datacron I want to talk about. Dark Side Vision Rey, I think, is the prime jewel. Krennic, a lot of people have been hyped about this. It sounds like so much fun. In terms of fighting Galactic Legends, might be tough. As you're seeing, having a hard time against Lord Vader, have some gameplay versus Rey. However, although I do hope that maybe there's some funny GL related stuff that Krennic can do, I think this is gonna be great for non-GL purposes. With Krennic, when he's in the leader slot, his allies are immune to daze, cool. Whenever an enemy is inflicted with ability block, all allies recover 20% protection, right? Ally tanks taunt, cool. Gain a stack of insight. But furthermore, if an allied Imperial Probe Droid is present, Krennic gains an additional stack of insight. But when Krennic has 10 stacks of insight, whenever an enemy is inflicted with ability block, they are inflicted with ability block until the end of the encounter, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. Unfortunately, this gameplay is not really going to show that in action, but a perpetual ability block for the rest of the encounter is nuts. It's kind of like a race. Let's get the 10 stacks of insight, then once you're there, permanent ability block, which is absolutely nuts. And of course, there's other things that are nice about this thing. You know, Short Trooper, anytime, you know, Short Trooper defeated, they get revived, cool. And then you have the Empire thing, where anytime an Empire deals damage to an enemy, you get the ability blocks. There are so many ways to get ability block through Krennic's lead, as well as this Datacron. But I'm not saying anything too crazy in regards to fighting some GLs, but you never know. Maybe if you fight a non-Datacron Master Luke, for example, you know, maybe could be just interesting stuff there. Again, I'm more interested in some non-GL things. If Krennic can do something like that, that would be amazing. For me personally, Krennic was one of my favorite characters of all time in this game. When people are rocking their Commander Lukes, I would be rocking Krennic, dominating, going to the top of Squad Arena with like Krennic lead, and then Thrawn, Nihilus, Death Trooper. Oh my gosh, that was my favorite Squad Arena period of all time. So I would love a reason to do this. You know, to have Krennic have a little bit of action, especially after the Andor TV show. I wish he got more of a rework or a better Omicron than a Datacron, but this is kind of the best, I suppose, that we get for now. But the thing I really want to make sure I'm pointing out to you guys is the fact that even if you don't have Krennic, you don't care about him, you don't have him upgrade again, you don't need him at Relics to use it, although if you want Kyber 1 performance, you probably want him at Relics. The level 12 support is back, baby. Remember when we had this in the normal Datacron format, and this was the huge bang per buck Datacron? This is when, for example, you know, you can get Tarkin to nuke a bajillion damage, or let me remind you guys, we have ourselves a moment when we had this about 9 months ago, where you could create a massive shorty droid nuke, where your core through is shorty, BB-8, T3, you pick one of these supports, you know, whether it's Loba, R2, then you pick one attacker, whether it's going to be, you know, BT, IG-88, 3PO and Chewie, whatever it might be, Grievous. Some people use Dark Trooper. And remember what you could do with this? Let me just show you real quick. Here's a Lord Vader lineup. This is why, if you're not even getting Krennic, you might just want to get that level 12 Datacron, just so you can get the support stats. I mean, check this out. You get out there, spam all the debuffs, set yourselves up for a beautiful, beautiful play. Yeah, there we go. Offense up the BT, do some of this, and watch, smoke them out. Yeah. So if you want to get in on this action, unfortunately, it's tied to a focused Datacron. Rather, I believe when this first came out, it was just a level 6, which is way more accessible than a level 12 on this particular Datacron. So just wanted to show you the state of the game. Again, I know Datacrons aren't always the most exciting conversation for most people out there, but it's an important thing nonetheless, as that's where a lot of the top end competition is. And let me put it this way. If a lot of people aren't using them and you do use it, you know, you're going to put yourself in a good spot to win here. Let's throw one more battle here in case you guys forgot about this video here. Queen Amidala is a very common one of using up against a common situation is using Shorty versus Queen Amidala, which was a lot bigger of a struggle back then. Boom. Look at that. Boom. Nuking them all out. So there you go. TLDW. Arnold, what did you say? I don't want to listen to you. My recommendation is, if you are going to pick, again, it's tough going for all the focus Datacrons. It really messed up my Datacron inventory. I don't know if I'm going. I don't think I'm going for all of them, unless Nebbit does something absolutely amazing. I think it's going to be Rey first, Hermit Yoda second, and I'm going to just kind of wait and see on the Krennic and Nebbit thing. They're just so expensive, man. And again, I think it's better in most situations to invest in 3 or 4 Datacrons than putting it all into one. But, you know, we'll wait and see. So again, people, stay tuned for next week. Early-ish, I'll have a Datacron list on the shopping list, what I would recommend. Well, and if you do get those Datacrons, man, you know, there's a lot of good ones this season, like the Barriss-Offee one. We talked a little bit about them the other day. I digress, everyone. If you can, on your way up, because I know you love Datacron videos and the crazy amount of power they bring and all the fun. Again, as I always like to say, I enjoy seasonal power changes that Datacron brings. And I think most would agree they like seeing a meta shakeup. I just don't like the acquisition and the progression of leveling them up. That's my real problem. I do like the fresh coat of paint, though. It brings the Grand Arena, though. I wish everyone could access it. Well, anyways, I digress. Leave a like, comment down below, subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And always remember, it's not great to be a Datacron today.